So welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks again for tuning back in. I hope you've been enjoying the content so far. And I'm really excited to talk about our topic today, and that's going to revolve around this right here. A console that I never owned as a kid when it came out. And this, in fact, is actually the first Super Nintendo that I ever bought. And that was only up until... I think I got this within the last couple of years. I certainly played it as a kid. I can't recall what happened in between the timeline of the NES and this coming out. Because I know I went from NES to PlayStation 1. The Super Nintendo was definitely one that we rented back in the day. But my brother seems to recall that we did own it. It must have been something that he purchased, though. But for some reason, I really wasn't that into it that much at that point. I can't remember why. But anyway, so up until a couple of years ago, I didn't own one personally until I grabbed this one. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through my game collection. Again, this is just to help me catalog and maybe even decide if I need to eliminate some of the titles. But I think for the most part, I don't have a lot, but for the most part, I think what I have is pretty decent quality. So without further ado, let's get into it. My Super Nintendo game collection. The first one I have is this one right here. It's the 7th Saga. Now, I've only played a little bit of it, and I think what turned me off of this game initially is the actual title, or not title, the graphics of it on the cover there. Never really did anything for me. Even when I put it in and played it, I wasn't blown away by the gameplay. I don't have many boxed games. Most of mine are going to be loose in these custom clamshells with printed off covers. And then just the game inside. I do have the manual for most of them, but I don't include it just because I think this is already tight enough, and I'd rather keep my manuals as pristine as possible. So anyway, 7th Saga is just a RPG game, so that's why I wanted to have it. Next up is Castlevania 4. This is one I have played, I have finished. Really enjoyed this game, as probably most people have, so there's not much else to say about this one. Next up is, do this without knocking everything over, Donkey Kong Country. Did I finish this one? Have not finished this one. I got pretty close to it. It was one I played back in the day, and I think I remember I liked it. I liked it more recently when I played it last, and yeah, everyone knows about this one. It's really good. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. Again, more of the same thing. If you like the first Donkey Kong, you'll like Donkey Kong Country 2. Double Dragon 5, yeah. The Shadow Falls. But this is it's more of like a Street Fighter style. That sort of combat tournament fighting game is the word I was looking for. I haven't tried this one yet. I'm not big into the tournament fighters. I just sort of grabbed it because it was a Double Dragon title per se. So here's one that I played in the arcade multiple times, and I didn't really. I liked it and I hated it. I liked it because the graphics at that time were outstanding, never before seen. I like the cartoon animation from the creator, Don Bluth. So that obviously gives it away as being Dragon's Lair. I just remember it cost $1 to play, and for like the 30 seconds I lasted, it was one of those games where I loved it at first and quickly grew to not, I don't want to say like it, but I stopped playing it just because quarters were pretty expensive, especially as a little kid back then. So I had to save them for games where I actually got my money's worth. Here's a game I found in a lot, if I recall correctly, from a garage sale. I think I did it in a pickup video. Anyway, Earthbound. So really happy to have this one. And it's a really, really nice copy. I don't know if it'll focus on it, but I've played a portion of it and then got distracted and stopped playing it. So I need to get back into it, and I really would like to finish it. As well as I'd like to get around to getting to the Japanese versions of Mother, and playing those as well. Maybe even get like repros or repro/fan translations to play. I think one's on the GBA. Game my brother got me for my birthday. F-Zero. My brother's a big Super Nintendo guy, so the way he does his games is he likes to collect them complete, so he'll get them complete, put it on the shelf, and then get a hard case with a cartridge so that easy access in front of it. I don't have the same space that he does, so for me, if I can get the box at a decent price, I will. Otherwise, for the time being, game and manual with the hard case, or with this the custom clamshell, is good enough for me. Game I did play, rent, and finish back in the day, Final Fantasy II. Obviously, everyone knows about this one. Big Final Fantasy fan, because I am a RPG fan, so that goes hand in hand. So really happy to play and finish Final Fantasy II, as well as with this one here, Final Fantasy III. This is probably one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. That opening sequence when you're in the frozen winter landscape or whatever, and it's introducing the story as well as doing the title graphics, I thought was fantastic, along with the music. And this one's got, is it Kefka? The main bad guy in there that's always like laughing his head off. A game that a lot of people don't like and don't give it enough credit or praise, but I still think it's a good game, Mystic Quest. I think this is the one that they tried to dumb down for North Americans, and I think that turned off a lot of JRPG fans. I personally think, yeah, it is dumbed down compared to 2 and 3, but it still is a good game, and I think a lot of people should give it more of a shot. I'm not into these games, as I've said multiple times, but I pick them up just because people like them. Killer Instinct. I did like this in the arcade back in the day when it came out. Played that a bunch of times there. It's another rare, is this a rare game? Yeah, rare. So it was fun, you know, back in the day as a kid, and, you know, introduce these new characters in the fighters at the arcade, but for home-wise, I'm just not a big fan of playing it. Fun game, Kirbys Avalanche. I don't know. It's a puzzle game if you're into it, and if you're a fan of Kirby. I'd rather play the regular Kirby games, but these are good for quick little games to play. Everybody's favorite, Zelda, A Link to the Past. One of the best Super Nintendo games, in my opinion, and probably a lot of people's. with just great story, great graphics, fun gameplay. Yeah, what else is there to say about it? I mentioned Killer Instinct. That was a ripoff / alternative to the next three. So we'll go through these rather quickly here because there's not much to say about them. Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 2, come on, and Mortal Kombat 3. So again, your standard fighting games. If you're into them, that's cool. They're fun for quick little ones, I guess, yeah, especially if you got a buddy over and you just want to play. I like Koei, even though they tend to make boring games for a lot of people. I originally started playing these on the NES, and these are, well, this one is Nobunaga's Ambition. So it's where you become, you can either play as Nobunaga or one of 50 other Japanese warlords in feudal Japan. So you control a fiefdom, and you have to try and help you build up your own fiefdom, as well as trying to overtake other ones all at the same time as trying to have resources for your country, to feed your population, your soldiers, to pay them, to do repairs, to grow crops, all at the same time trying to fight off and defend your territory as well as take over other territories. So love these games. I don't know why. They just, for some reason, they grew on me as a kid, and I've just always liked them since. Standard game that everyone has to have for Super Nintendo, Pilot Wings. I like the flying simulator. I like the jetpack portion of it. Again, just a fun little game to play. Similar to Nobunaga's, maybe even a little bit better. This is Romance of the Three Kingdoms 3, Dragon of Destiny. Again, same sort of style. You take over as a lord. You wage war against other warlords. The difference with this one, though, is it actually has, I don't know if it'll show there, it does have like animated battle scenes, whereas Nobunaga's did not, if I recall correctly. So there's a little bit more action and interplay with the Romance series, but it's the same sort of thing. Secret of Mana. Again, another one that a lot of people would say is one of the best games on the Super Nintendo. Really love this one. Again, it's an RPG. Super Mario AllStars. So this one has, sorry, I was just reading the back. So this one's got Mario Brothers 2, 3, and Lost Levels. All of them are upgraded to play on the Super Nintendo. So definitely, if you're a Mario fan, it's one of the ones you want to have on the back, or one of the ones you want to have in your collection. And then this is Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World. And then Super Mario Kart. So if you're into kart racing, especially with 3 other people, fun one to play. Though I always prefer just to play with either myself or one other person. Just It just seemed to be a lot more fun that way. Super Mario World by itself. What else we got here? Never tried this one. Spider-Man, XMen, Arcade's Revenge. It's got all the Marvel characters in there that I like. So X-Men, Wolverine, Spider-Man. Fun one that would be good to try at some point, instead of just looking at the box like I always do. Great game to play, Star Fox. This one introduced the Super FX microchip, which allowed for the polygonal, I also want to say like 3D style of graphics, with the special effects chips for the Super Nintendo. Couple more fighting games that I just grabbed because everyone else likes. Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Obviously the Turbo one is the one that you want. It's got the faster style of gameplay. It's weird though, this has got 16 megs and the Turbo's got 20 megs. Here is a military RTS style of gameplay. It's probably why I sort of like it. Super Conflict. Made by Vic Tokai. So that would have been the same guys that did Go-Go 13, right? So they got this goofy soldier on the front there who looks really happy. Another fan favorite for the Super that everyone should have and should play. This one I have finished. Super Metroid. The game that everyone seems to talk about in terms of gameplay, description, Metroidvania style of gameplay is the term that everyone likes. If you're a fan of Star Wars, then you want to have this one in your collection. It's not too bad. I prefer the fighting portion of it or the flying portion of it as opposed to the side-scrolling of it. I just think it's better, more fun, better gameplay. This game, I haven't tried, recently. I don't remember if I tried it back in the day. I probably did pick it up when I was a kid and rented it. Super hard game, T2. The arcade game. Obviously more fun in the arcade because of the machine gun controller that you could use. This one I have not... Oh. I've tried these individually, obviously, but not from this cart on the Super, but Tetris and Dr. Mario. Again, basically two of the same games in one package. Originally played this on the PC. And I'm pretty sure I've tried the Super version of it, though I can't recall 100%. My favorite one in the entire series is number 4. And this is the first Wing Commander. Nope. How does it go like that? 3D Space Combat Simulator. I don't know if this one got voice in there. Probably does. Obviously the PC version, especially Wing Commander 4, it's got Mark Hamill in it. I don't know if Hamill was in 3 or not. I'd have to look at my box. I can't recall. And then another RPG, so obviously that's why I have it. I should get a new case for it, though. This one's a little ratted. This is Ys. Wanderers from Ys 3. So if you're a fan of the Ys series, I only recently played Ys. Can't recall. Anyway, it was the one that was on the Vita. A couple year ago, and enjoyed it. Moving on, a couple more box games here. My Super Game Boy adapter. So obviously it's just the plug-in cart where then you can put your Game Boy carts in and then play them on your Super in color. Got the Lion King here in box. Yeah, these are still in here just because, well, I just don't have room for anything. So Lion King. And then the Incredible Hulk in box as well. This one looks like it'll be fun. I should give it a try, but I haven't done so yet. And now all we have left is some more loose carts, but they're not in the protectors. We'll go through these rather quickly. This is Uniracers. Looks like a stupid game, but a lot of people say it's really good. You're basically a unicycle trying to travel through parts of the level and just try and complete it. Phalinx. I call it Phalinx. Probably one of the weirdest artwork of games that I've ever seen, with the old man playing the banjo, sitting down, and it gives no indication that this is a shooter game, but it's a fun shooter. I've heard this is good. I haven't tried it. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I like these games more on the PC than anything, just because the interface between them on the consoles tends to be a little bit slower. That's Sim Earth. Side scroller, if I remember correctly, Draken, which probably means that I haven't tried it. The Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse, have not tried this one yet either. I don't know what this one is. I think it's got to be somewhere to, as I said before, Nobunaga's or Romance. It's a Koei game, so I'm assuming it's the same lines as that. And Nindo. Not a game that I hear a lot of people talk about. Another one of those building sim style of games, Populous. This is a game that I was a fan of on the NES. And I did own the first and second one, and I think there was 4 in the series, but this is Super Bases Loaded. Remember playing Bases Loaded 1 and 2 a lot on the NES. TV show that I watched. This is Renstimpy Vidiot. It's a side scroller that takes place within a certain frame. I think you're in a house in that one or something, and you're trying to recover some things. Turtles 4. Turtles in Time. Game that I loved in the arcade, and it's just as good on the Super Nintendo. Mario's Time Machine. Have not played this one. I know I've heard about it. I just can't recall exactly what it's about. This one, I don't know if I should keep. Let me know. This is Eek the Cat. I only remember it from the cartoons. I do like playing these games. Mainly, I was a fan of them on the PC. But this is Mech Warrior. So obviously, you choose a mech, you load it up with weaponry, and you go around killing other mechs. Have not tried this one yet. This is Operation Europe, Path to Victory, 1939 to 45. This was a recent pickup from this year. Same with this one. I did have this one complete in box, and I traded it to my brother for some, I don't know, some systems or some shit. Uncharted Waters, New Horizons. Basically, it's a version of like you could call it romance or Nobunaga's, except you're almost like a pirate on the water. I don't know what this one is. Arcana. That was another pickup this year. And then I had shown you that first Uncharted Waters. This is the first one, Uncharted Waters. There are, if I recall correctly, I think there are NES versions of those two games, which I'm not sure if I have or not. I'd have to look. This is a fun one. Super Bomberman 2. We have, well, I enjoyed the comics of this anyway, so that's probably why I grabbed it. Spawn. I had mentioned Sim Earth and shown Sim Earth earlier, and these were two other pickups from this year. Sim City and Sim Earth. Wait, Sim City, Sim Ant. Sorry. I think the Sim Ant is fun. Sim City, again, it's just the the interaction and the gameplay on these consoles just isn't particularly suited for those styles of games. Game I did play back in the day, Wizardry 5. Not the best on these consoles, obviously. Fun one to play, Miss Pac-Man. And we're down to the final few here. We have got this just because of the flying one. Turn and Burn, No Fly Zone. Haven't played it, so I don't know if it's any good. But I do like my flying games. Sunsoft game. Hopefully it's decent. Tasmania. This could be one along with Eek the Cat that I decide to eliminate. Flintstones. The Treasure of Sierra Madrock. There's another one from this year. Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong. Double Trouble. So got all three of the Donkey Kong games. And then finally another one that, again, I'm just not a fan of the genre, but people tend to like it. Fatal Fury Special. And that's it. Those are my Super Nintendo games that I currently have. If anyone can make a recommendation for any of the ones that I said maybe I haven't played yet, that'd be greatly appreciated. And just leave me a comment, tell me what you think about the collection so far. Like I said, it's obviously Super Nintendo collection is roughly around 750 games. So I'm far from anywhere close to being in the area of that. Obviously, and I have no intention of grabbing. There's a lot of, let's be honest, there's a lot of crappy games in the library. So I'm more inclined to do, I'm fine to go larger. I just don't want to get larger with crappier games. I'd rather get larger with more fun ones to play. So You've seen what I have here. If you can recommend others that I can add to my list that I should go for, you know, aside from the heavy hitters, like don't be throwing at me Hagane or is it Arrow Blasters or whatever, you know. I know the expensive ones. I just rather have fun, good ones in my collection. So thanks again, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this little walkthrough of my Super Nintendo game collection. And we'll catch you guys again with another video real soon.